Go to Dominique to start us off.
Hey, Chris, Dominique Yates, Courier Journal. Carley was just in here, and he mentioned that when you were willing to change up the starting lineup for guys that practice the hardest, have you been able to see a little bit more change and just, energy and guys practicing hard and I guess not being comfortable in the positions they were in?
We had a bad practice before we played, Miami. I made that, pretty clear. I don't think we've had bad practice habits for the most part. I don't feel like guys get comfortable for the most part, but we are in some positions very new, and there are a lot of I don't want to call them bad habits, but lack of habits, and so that leads to inconsistency. So I just felt like it was important at that time to really get into our players' mind that you play like you practice. This isn't Allen Iverson and the 76ers, and guys haven't been playing professionally for 8-10 years. Like, our guys are still developing habits, and we don't bring it in practice, and we don't practice with a purpose. There has to be some type of penalty. Otherwise, your team is going to go out and not play very well, because you are on game night who you are on the practice floor every day. So that was the reason for the change. We didn't have a whole lot of time between Miami and Florida State. We didn't even have the ability to practice because we got in so late. But I liked our response since, and it's my job to keep that standard up all throughout the year.
Michael.
Hey, Chris, during the ACC call on Monday, you said that, you were kind of scrambling to get things together, with Clemson just thrown onto the schedule. How has that scramble gone? Have you been able to, I guess, plan properly for the Tigers?
Yeah, we've done everything that we can so far. We've got another practice here in about 30 minutes. Clemson runs a lot of stuff offensively. They obviously have changed their defense from a year ago. They've been one of the best defensive teams pretty much all year. I know the numbers don't bear it out the last 3 games, but they've also played 3 of the better league teams, here lately. So, I understand what Clemson brings. They're going to full court pressure. They're going to deny your catches. Offensively, they're going to try to spread you out. Amir Sims is a very unique player at his position. He's experienced. And they have a lot of guys that can shoot. I mean, last year they shot, I think, 38 threes against us in the home game. So, we're playing a really good team tomorrow that, like a lot of teams, goes through a struggle, came after COVID. So I expect Clemson to be better than they have been.
Shannon and then Matt.
You get a lot of questions about Carley Jones, and rightfully so. But he's averaging almost as many points now as he did last year at Radford. He's adjusted to the competition and really helped take your team to where it is right now. But where do you want to see him improve as the season continues? Where can he get better?
I think if you mean on the basketball court, I think that he can shoot the ball better. I think he, his pull-up, game has been a little inconsistent throughout the season compared to what I see in practice every day. Again, I'm nitpicking because he's a terrific player and he creates a lot of things for us. I think he needs to be, a little bit better defensively, able to guard both penetrators and guys that can score. But I think more importantly than any of the things on the court that I think he'll keep improving on, Shannon, just his ability to take ownership of our team and be comfortable as a leader. And that's where we really need him to excel.
Matt?
Hey, Coach. This is Matt McGavin with Sports Illustrated. Clemson, they're talking about their defense. They play a full-court man-to-man press, which is something you guys have struggled with, dealing with the press. How have you guys been working to combat that heading into the game on Wednesday?
Yeah, I don't think we've struggled with that. I think we've had a couple times where we didn't meet our passes, but I wouldn't necessarily say struggle with. They pick up man-to-man, full court. And we're going to have to be able to bring the ball up and get us into the offense. And we've been working on that in practice.
Kent?
Chris, you guys have a unique offense where you got a couple really good guards in the backcourt that can kind of initiate things. Carley mentioned that you kind of left it up to him and David on who does what and when. Do you like how they've kind of got that system? And it seems like, whoever's got the hot hand or whoever's a little bit more open, it ends up doing it.
Well, both of them have the ability to play make, and we wanted to make sure that our offense centered around those two making plays, for one another, for their teammates, for themselves. And so, a lot of what we've been doing throughout the year had been ball screen centered, and we will continue to do that. And yes, it is a luxury to have more than, one guy on your team that's considered a playmaker. And, we're going to continue to, go with that strength of ours.
Shannon?
I wanted to ask about your Twitter post today, the hashtag Girl Dad post with Lainey, and your daughters have been fixtures with you on the teams that you've coached and have been around and been obviously a priority in your family and in your life. But what does that mean to you just on the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's death? What does that whole initiative and that feeling for you mean in terms of your relationship with your daughters today?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a reminder how terribly sad the event was a year ago. And, for as many special and talented people as I've gotten to meet in the game of basketball, it was unfortunate I never had the chance to meet Kobe Bryant. But, I know how much he cared about, being a part of his daughter's experiences, obviously basketball being a huge part. And, it's different. My daughters don't play basketball anymore. They're more into volleyball. But, I've always tried to take them on recruiting trips. I've always tried to involve them. You spend so much time away from your family during basketball season, outside of the season with recruiting. I mean, you name it, visits with recruits. And so, I thought that, Kobe really tried to do everything he could, even as a player, to involve his family. Even taking the helicopter, ironically, was because he didn't necessarily want to fight the traffic and be in a car for 2 hours all the time so that he can spend more time with his family. And so, it's obviously a sad day, to have the anniversary. But, when that hashtag came around a year ago, I think it grew dads a lot closer to their daughters and an appreciation for who he was as a dad as well.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks.
That'll do us for today. Thank you for joining us.